The deep freeze is reaching the deep south today. This is a live look at Atlanta where snow is covering the ground. The Arctic air that has been blasting the Midwest is now bringing bitter cold along with snow and ice across the south. Good evening and welcome to coverage you can count on at 5:30 where we are tracking the winter storm. I'm Cheryl Renee. Thanks for joining us. Elsewhere across the U.S., freezing rain in Texas has created a huge mess on the roads and encased this car in a thick layer of ice. More than 2,700 flights have been canceled or delayed across the country, leaving many travelers stuck.
So I chose to get ahead of the storm and to leave on a 7 a.m. flight, which really disrupted my plans and so forth. So I spent the night here in the airport.
Meanwhile, temperatures 20 degrees below normal persist across the eastern part of the country. Outside Cleveland, this strange sight, hundreds of snow rollers formed by fierce winds creating what looks like Arctic tumbleweeds. The weather here across the valley is also turning into something. In Columbus, the temperatures are low and rain continues to fall, making roads slick and keeping people inside. Let's send it over to meteorologist Derek Kincaid with our first check of the weather.
Cheryl, thanks so much. We'll take a live look outside with our Alpha Insurance Skycam atop the East Alabama Medical Center. You can see the snow.
Thanks, Derek. Our live team coverage tracking this winter weather takes us now to East Alabama with News Leader 9's Elizabeth White. She joins us live from our East Alabama newsroom with the latest. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hey, Cheryl, how you doing? You know, families have been waiting all day long for the snow, and just about 30 minutes ago, it did start to fall outside of our East Alabama newsroom in Auburn.
With this winter weather, those taking the bus in Columbus might be wondering, will there be service after all? News Leader 9's Brittany Dion has been checking things out. She joins us live from Metro Transit in Columbus with an update on operations. How are things going out there, Brittany?
Well, that's right, Cheryl. We're here on the Metro Transit buses now, and they're getting ready to pull off. So we're going to step off of the bus. We stepped on just to get out of this rain, this cold weather. And city officials say that they are definitely monitoring the weather very closely to make sure that road conditions are safe.
Brittany, some of us may be in for a surprise when our cars don't perform as expected during this winter storm. There are some maintenance issues that don't make themselves known until the temperature drops. But a few small adjustments could turn it all around. Automotive experts say the one thing we forget about is antifreeze. Failing to keep your fluid levels up can cause your radiator to split open. Harold White of White's Automotive in Columbus says you should also defrost your windows.
Make sure you keep up with tire pressure. And of course your battery, you don't want a weak battery out there when you go to try to start it in the freezing cold because it just won't do it.
Experts say car batteries age the quickest in climates with mostly warm temperatures like ours. You'll also want to avoid driving if your tires don't have enough tread. Georgia State highway safety officials want drivers to also be prepared when they hit the roads. One good thing to do is walk around your car to make sure the tires are in good shape and the lights are working properly. Officials say it's always a good practice to drive slowly, giving yourself plenty of room to stop. And if you find yourself in a skid, stay calm and ease your foot off the gas, carefully steering in the direction you want to go.
Georgia is bracing for a second bout of winter weather, a mere 2 weeks after snow and ice put the city of Atlanta in gridlock. Folks who live there say they will not be caught off guard this time. Will Frampton has their story. Happening now, Governor Nathan Deal is holding a news conference to discuss emergency plans ahead of the approaching storm. Deal is expected to convene the Operations Command today, made up of directors from multiple agencies, including agencies like the emergency departments, health departments, and power companies. At 3 o'clock this afternoon, Governor Deal will activate the State Operations Center, which will function until the emergency response ends. With criticism still looming over the last storm 2 weeks ago, the governor is not taking any chances. This morning, he declared states of emergency for 14 counties, all of them in North Georgia.
We're actually tracking two systems. This first one that we're expecting for tonight, tomorrow, is the weaker of the two.
We talked a moment ago about that live news conference happening now at the governor's mansion. I believe we do have pictures now, courtesy of WSB. The governor taking a proactive response to the storm ahead of snow and ice, which is expected for Atlanta.
Is WTVM News Leader 9.
It is impossible, as we all know,
to be with absolute certainty when and under what circumstances this weather will fall upon us.
Georgia Governor Nathan Deal preparing the state for a second round of winter weather. This time he says we will not be caught off guard.
At our viewing area on the southern fringe of what should be the worst of things, we'll still talk about what we expect around here in the coming days coming up.
And we'll also check to see how the city of Columbus is preparing for winter weather as it makes its way through Georgia this week.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for News Leader 9 at 5. I'm Barbara Gauthier.
And I'm Jason Dennis. As we were talking about winter weather creeping back into our area. So just how hard will we be hit maybe this time around?
Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid to find out what we can expect across the Chattahoochee Valley. Derek?
Well, guys, the good news for us this time around, we do not expect an event like what we had, say, about 2.5 weeks ago. We are on the southern.
All right, thank you, Derek. Well, this winter weather may be a few hours or days away from us, but News Leader 9 wants to get you and your family prepared for what may be to come. News Leader 9's Dante Renzulli has spent the day talking with Columbus Public Works Department workers, speaking with officials about steps they're taking to keep residents safe. Dante joins us now live.
All right, Dante, thank you. After getting a less than stellar review of how the state of Georgia handled the first round of snow in the Atlanta area, Governor Nathan Deal putting his best foot forward to make sure everyone is prepared this time. A mere 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks after the crippling snowstorm hit Metro Atlanta, the governor is rallying troops from the National Guard, the Georgia Department of Transportation, and Georgia's Emergency Management Agency. Officials are leaving nothing to chance, hoping to avoid a repeat situation.
We are at the state level doing everything that we think is warranted under the circumstances, and that is true for the city of Atlanta, and it is true for the auxiliary services that are provided by private entities such as our power companies.
Now, Atlanta Public Schools have already announced schools will be closed Tuesday and Wednesday for inclement weather.